So in today's video, we are going to be talking about how I make my YouTube videos. Now, the first step for me for creating YouTube videos is finding your passion. What topic makes your heart skip a beat? Is it makeup, gaming, cooking, or travel? Finding your passion is crucial and really important in the video making process because it will fuel your enthusiasm and make the process a lot easier. Remember that your viewers will feel your excitement as you project yourself in your videos, so it's important to pick a topic that you're really passionate about. So when I started my YouTube channel, I kind of went with the approach that I would try a little bit of everything, and I still do that to some extent even today, but I do feel that I have narrowed it down slightly. So for me, my main style is lifestyle, travel, and then like a bit of challenge content thrown in as well. That's the kind of content that just sparks me and makes me feel really happy and that I enjoy producing. So now that you've found your passion, it is time to plan your content. Sit down with a pen and paper and brainstorm some ideas. So for me personally, I plan all of my ideas and YouTube stories through an app called Notion. So inside my Notion, I actually have subfolders which list all the different ideas and categories for videos. Then once I've come up with the ideas, if I feel like creating one of those, I will move that folder over into a script section and I will start writing the script for that video idea. This also really helps me plan out when I want to have a video released. I actually have a calendar on my Notion which lists all the videos and when I want them to come out. I think I have them planned up until February next year currently. So once I have the idea for the video, depending on the style of it, I will either script some of it or all of it word for word. So for example, with my Lanzarote travel vlog series that you guys saw, I planned sort of bullet points for some of those and some key points and a list of things and activities that I wanted to film, but other than that, the rest of it was completely spontaneous and none of it was scripted. But you can compare that to other videos and other vlogs where the whole thing is completely scripted. For example, this video right here, 100% all of it has been scripted pre-hand, so I know exactly what I'm going to say and I don't miss anything out. For me, with educational videos or ones where I want to get my point across, having a script really helps it flow that much more smoothly. Even the words I'm saying right now, I literally wrote down on Notion a few days ago. Now, creating high quality videos does require some proper equipment. However, you really don't need to break the bank in order to get started. What you want to do is you want to start with the essentials. You want a decent camera, maybe a decent tripod, and something for audio, be that a clip-in mic like this or a mic attached to your camera. Some basic form of editing software, and then a decent enough laptop that you can run your programs on. If you are on a bit of a budget, you can record most of your YouTube videos on your smartphone these days, and you can get external microphones that are readily available online. Things like good lighting, I've never really been that precious about. I think if you can get shots where you have a lot of natural light coming through, then the need for external lights and things like that just is really redundant. I personally have quite a lot of camera gear, but I don't use all of it, and I certainly don't use all of it at the same time. So now I'm going to show you my top camera equipment. Bear with me. So this is my basic setup of all of the camera equipment and editing equipment that I use to make these videos. So first up we have my laptop. This is the Acer Aspire Zero. Really good, really reliable laptop. A complete massive upgrade compared to my last laptop that was running really slowly, but I managed to do all of my editing off of here, even down to creating my thumbnails and scripts and everything I need. My camera is the Sony ZV-1. I'm currently recording on this. I will show you a clip separately. I did actually make some minor adjustments to this camera, which I would not recommend you doing, but I did make some adjustments. So for my budget for the camera equipment, I could only afford a simple point and shoot camera, and also I don't have the tech savvy knowledge to have something with a more advanced capability. But I really wanted to get more of a wide angle shot with this camera than unfortunately this camera was offering at the time. So I went and I bought the Instro Sony ZV-1 camera lens. This lens has a 18mm wide angle and a 10x macro lens built in one. Due to this camera not being built to be able to change lenses, this lens is actually supposed to be applied with an adhesive back mount. Now I found that this lens was actually pretty heavy for the camera itself, and so the adhesive stick wasn't working very well and it kept just falling off the camera. So in the end I actually super glued it to the camera. Yeah. which I really wouldn't recommend you doing, as it was quite risky and I could have broke the camera and I could have had super glue smeared all over the lens inside with no way to get the external one off and fix the issue. But yeah, luckily for me it worked. And now I have a wide angle shot and I can get really up close macro shots as well. So that's my laptop, that's my camera. Now for my tripods. I have 3 main tripods that I use. There's the tripod that I'm currently using right now, which is a lot taller one. It's quite flimsy and not too sturdy, but it does the job and it means I can get shots from higher up. Next up we have the Joby GorillaPod. This one I really like. This was my second tripod that I ever got. I like it because it can bend and grip around things and you can get quite interesting and unique shots with it. Then last is my latest tripod that I've purchased. It's a Manfrotto tripod and this little guy is really sturdy. This is a more basic one, easier to grip if I just want to go out and I want to do a simple vlog. He's far more compact and easy to travel than the others, so when I went abroad and things like that, this was the one that came with me, and these are for ones that stay at home. So out of all 3, probably the Manfrotto one, and then to be fair, the taller one as well. When I'm at home, I use these the most, I would have said. But again, you certainly don't need 3 tripods to start off with. 1 tripod would be more than enough. And pretty much anything where I want to go traveling, I will take my GoPro Hero 7 with me. This little guy I've had for years now. He's really reliable, really sturdy and strong. He takes brilliant underwater shots. Now I actually have 2 different microphones that I use. Both of these are made by Rode. First up, I have this really high quality plug-in NT USB mini studio quality microphone. This little guy is an absolute beast and he's really good for, what do you call it? Not overviews, overheads. I can't remember what it's called. Then I use this little lav mic from Rode again, which plugs into my camera. It can also plug into my laptop as well, so I can use it to record audio directly onto my editing software, but mainly for that I prefer to do this one because the quality of audio is far nicer with this one. I do also have a drone that I use quite a lot to get some aerial footage. I'm not using it as much as I used to. That is again more of what I would class as a travel kind of accessory, not something you need if you want to start videos. So now that you have all of your equipment ready, it is time to set the scene and start shooting. I always try to make sure I get multiple shots of certain scenes, particularly when it comes to B-roll, as you never know when you get to the edit section whether a scene might be slightly out of focus or you're not completely happy with a shot and you want to change it for another one. I personally really struggle with speaking in front of a camera. It is, no matter what anyone says, it is not a natural thing to do. This is just something I've been working on. So personally, a lot of my videos, particularly the parts where I'm speaking to the camera, they will be inside. There'll be a place where there's no one else around, so I don't feel judged. I haven't reached that level where I can fully vlog outside yet. I did do my first experience of vlogging outside, and that was in my Lanzarote holiday video, and I actually vlogged a little small section at the airport, and that was petrifying, but I found the most quietest corner I possibly could and I started off there. But at the end of the day, I think it's really important to try and remember that the viewers who are watching these videos are here for you. They want the genuine, authentic you. They don't want someone who's fake coming across in these videos. I also try to get a bit of a mixture of scenes, from static still shots like these to ones where I'm talking and walking at the same time, a bit of B-roll. I try to mix up the shots. This is mainly to provide a bit of variety and stop the video from getting too boring. Once I have all of the raw footage that I need, it is then on to editing. And please don't worry, you don't need to be a professional editor to achieve good results. I am by certainly no means a pro editor, but I can still bash out a half decent edit and turn it into a good video. There are plenty of user-friendly editing software options available, ranging from free to paid subscriptions. I have personally always used a software called Movavi, as it is a one-off purchase and it was pretty easy for me to learn how to edit on. I also do have a couple of other subscriptions. I have a subscription to Epidemic Sound, which I use to get royalty-free music that I can use in my videos. For me personally, how I edit is I always do one complete rough cut, which will be all of the individual shots trimmed down so I have the basic raw story for my video. After that, I will then go back and put things like effects, transitions, text, sound effects, music, all of that in later. But yeah, that's basically my editing process. Like I said, not really much to it. Anyone can bash a video together. There is only one thing that I would say, and that is I have a couple of rules when it comes to the first minute of the video. Rule 1 is to reaffirm the title within the first few scenes of the video. Rule number 2 is to make the first minute as engaging as possible and be fairly fast-paced when it comes to cuts. This really is to ensure that people don't get bored and click off your video. After 1 minute of watching, most people will normally stick around to at least half, if not all of the video, so your retention rate should be higher, or at least in my head they will. Now, last but not least is the thumbnail. To be honest, sometimes I create the thumbnail before I even sit down and record the video. So I actually took the thumbnail for this exact video before I started recording. This to me can sometimes help shape a better storyline, but also in the same breath, there is a lot of times where I will take the thumbnail after the story, because sometimes, particularly with the more spontaneous vlogs, I don't always know where the storyline is going to go until the end of the day. My advice would be to try and create quite a few thumbnails, and then you've got several to choose from. I would try and show them to friends, family, anyone really, and try and get some feedback on them. I also tend to try and take a thumbnail when I'm recording the video on the same day, because I want my clothes to be the same. I don't want someone to click on a thumbnail and my clothes will be a certain color or certain style, or I'll have a hat and then they go into the video and I've got no hat and I've got a completely different jumper on. It just doesn't make as much sense. So once I have my selected image that I want to use for my thumbnail, there is a couple of editing softwares that I do use to fine-tune some of the image. For example, I use Lightroom, put a photo into Lightroom and use some of my LUTs to enhance or change the look and feel of an image. I don't always do this. Sometimes I leave the image as it is, but it's a useful thing just to make the colors more powerful and pop. Then the other one is the other subscription service that I use, which is a software called Canva. With Canva, I do this because one, it crops the image down to the size needed for the thumbnails, but also I can go ahead and add text if I want to. I very rarely do this now though, as I've found that having text can sometimes distract away from the picture. And as the age-old saying goes, a picture says 1,000 words. But after that, I have everything I need. So I upload my finished video to YouTube. I always do a bit of research into the kind of tags that I should use on my videos as well. For that, I use a web-free extension browser called TubeBuddy. It helps suggest good tags that are relevant to my content and my videos. After that, I tend to schedule my videos. If I do have some days where I can try and get ahead, plan videos, shoot videos, and upload them in advance, it just takes the pressure off for the future. But after the video is scheduled, that's pretty much it.